What is going on, YouTube? Ryan Rooker with Scrubs Unite here. Now that the deck is finalized and my build is about as good as I can get it, I'm going to go ahead and give you a new deck profile and an update for something that I've been working on for years. And also, a quick update, one of these days whenever I can manage to get the chance to and we can catch them on a day off, I'm going to get a hold of one of our other Scrubs Unite members, and I'm going to be posting his deck profile on here as well. So you're finally going to have somebody besides me on the profile. So that's going to be something that we can actually get into and enjoy, but for now, let's go ahead and get on with the new profile for Gladiator Beasts yet again. This deck is finalized. I finally got the last of the cards in that I need for it. I've done the adjustments, and this is probably going to be the build that I'll be satisfied with for quite a while. So, let's get right on into it without any more hesitation. We start off with the 3 Gladiator Beast Andal. Everybody knows Andal is pretty much a beater. On the upside, there's a new advantage to running him, since Sky Striker is the best deck, and that's that it can't be Widow Anchored. Even if they have the 3 spells in their grave, they can't take it, because Widow Anchor has to hit the effect monster first. No effect means no negation, means no taking. 3 Sam Knight. Sam Knight's pretty much just a play extender off of Rabbit. We're all used to this adjustment by now. 2 Augustus. Ever since I've been playing around, I can find kind of a 3-card combo, and I'll show that at the end of the video. 2 Darius. 2 Noxious, because he's another hand trap. He can stop the hiatus swing, and he bypasses Eater of Millions' banishing effect on battle, because Eater of Millions says at the start of the battle step, and Noxious says proceed straight to damage calculations. 2 Equeste, still not maxed out on the rarities yet, but I'm not too concerned about it at the moment. 1 Bestiary still, because, again, more than one's not really necessary. 2 Test Tiger, because Test Tiger is your sometimes, not all the times card. The Gamma package. We're going into the hand trap lineup now. 3 Ghost Ogre. I feel like Ghost Ogre is going to be like the big hand trap of the format, because you can stop the big advantage off of the judgment that is multi-roll. You can stop, some of the really big continuous plays, like from Altergeist, and it can be a really good disruptor for Goki. It does kind of those little niche things that just kind of helps you manage the situation better than what you normally could. 3 Veiler, and just to make people sick, I'm running an Ultra, Super, and a Common. Secondary engine, we're running the Rescue engine still. 2 Rabbit, 2 Cat. I actually had a talk with one of the other regulars at the Corbin shop, and he asked me, he said, maybe bump one of the Rabbits or one of the Cats to 3. The thing is you end up burning through your resources too quickly if you become reliant on the Rescue engine. And it's not that it's a sometimes, not all the times card. It's more of a you don't want to see it too much. Tech, 1 Valeraphon just for Nat Beast. Spell lineup, we're running the Proving Grounds, Sack Dot card, and Sack Dot card dot 2. So that's pretty much just your board breaker, your reborn, and your consistency push. The consistency push is really just for your 3-card combo. Evenly being the final piece of the puzzle. It came in just the other day. My girlfriend bought it for me, and I'm really glad that she helped me finish up this build, because I absolutely needed to finish this up, because I was really hyped for the regional coming up. Going into the extra, we've got the 1 Asadari, the 2 Gyzaris, the 1 Andabata. You don't want more than 1 Andabata, because all he's good for is getting the extra 2 pops before going into the Tamer. The 2 Herc, the 1 Neurokius, your second string out to Eater. Like, your biggest rogue threat or your biggest bottom end of tier 1 threat is Trickstar because of Eater of Millions. If you can bypass Eater of Millions, it becomes kind of a slugfest matchup in a grind game, and this bypasses Eater of Millions because it shuts off card effects during battle. So, it effectively outs the only real threat you have, and it's also a defensive wall you can just throw in defense and hold them off from Borreload as well. Effectively, you play this and they can't run over you and manipulate the board too easily. 3 Tamer, just because it's a mandatory piece of the puzzle. 1 Omega. You like to use the Gamma, not on your opponent's turn. You want to Gamma on your turn to get the Omega, so that way you can start recycling the rest of the Gamma package. And it now lets you Gamma on their turn and do it more safely. Plus, you bait the Ash because this deck does tag consistently, and you want to be able to hit your opponent's Ash and still get your tag to go off, because when you tag out, you no longer have monsters on the board. So it lets you get the Omega, plus rip a card from their hand as punishment for trying to negate you, and then you continue to set up your board. 1 Nat Beast. My OCD's kicking in. I had those in backwards, but it's no big deal. Everybody knows what the Nat Beast is for. Yeah, it's easily conquerable by Sky Striker or late game, but if you turn 1 Rescue Cat and then go for Gamma on the Ash, you end up with Omega ripping a card out, they lose the Ash, and you get a Nat Beast. Now your opponent's having to live with working off of 3 cards effectively. Baguska, just in case you need to stall. It's not really too big of a deal. It could be virtually any rank 4, but Baguska is probably just the best option. And we're running 2 Dragasis. I've decided that 3 is not really the best bet, because you really don't need the 3rd one. The game's over by the time you're playing the 3rd one anyway, whether it's you losing or your opponent. Next, going into the sideboard, we're running the 2 Droll, 1 Turtle Man, 1 Mothra, 1 What the Hell Are You, the Rosball set, the 2 Called by the Grave in the side. It's really not that big of a deal. I mainly just side it for the BA matchup and occasionally your Altergeist matchup because you want to call by their manifestation target. 3 Shared Rides because it's obvious. The 1 Lost Wind, I'm running it because I don't have a 3rd copy of Royal Decree, and you can also main this, you can side this in against Sky Striker just to give you that 1 extra interruption, or maybe even run it against Goki. And then the 2 Royal Decree. So far, my thoughts on the deck is it's a good pace-based deck, and it abuses cards that say you have to have no field, because quite often you'll end up tagging out, and during the end of the battle phase, you'll have nothing on the field if you only had one monster on the field, and then tag it in. Like, your turn 1 play, usually, if you open evenly, and a way to make Dragasis is you can go ahead and let them have whatever board they want, bounce Dragasis off and take a bit of damage, tag out the Dragasis, and on the chain activate evenly matched. You've wiped their board shy of 1 card, and now you end up with 2 monsters tagging in, and now would be a really good time, I guess, to go ahead and show you just that kind of play that you need. So the situation calls for it. It doesn't really matter what the other cards in your hand are. You can open Cat or Rabbit. You need Cat, rabbit, cat or rabbit, Darius in hand, and really just any other Glad Beast. Actually, no, you don't need the other Glad Beast. Really, I think it's just a 2-card combo. So, you play the Rescue Cat, or the Rabbit, whichever. Sack off for your Samnites or Andals, which will in turn make your Dragasis. Oh, it'll make your Dragasis play. You'll swing Dragasis and bounce him off, or if you can kill something, that's an even better situation for you. If you have Evenly, you can drop Evenly when you tag out the Dragasis. When you tag out Dragasis, you go for Darius and Augustus from the deck. You need the Darius in hand. So Darius will target. You go Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, always. You have to have Augustus go Chainlink 1, otherwise the other Gladiator beasts that he summons will miss timing on their effects. So you go Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. Chainlink 2 will target Samnite, summon from the grave, and then you'll go Darius, Chainlink, activate a new chain, summon Samnite. Use the same 2 Samnites to make Dragasis again. Use these 3 to make Andabata, which will then summon Gyzaris. And then you can pop the 2 cards on the board, tag in those to make Tamer. Use the effect of Tamer to summon her directly from the extra. And now, if you didn't open evenly, you're sitting on 2-card combo to make a 3 to 4 negate board. It's effectively making roughly a 4 negate board to a 3 negate board, just varying on how the combo has to work. But your generic 2-card combo there, which really only requires cat or rabbit with Darius, equals 4 other cards still being in hand. So you really don't have to worry much about establishing a board presence, because it does it on its own. Now, if you have to use an extender of some sort, or if you have to drop the evenly matched or the Gamma, Gamma is probably the ideal card here, because you can go negate the Ash, drop the Gamma and the Driver, and you can make the Omega and hand rip, and you can still rip from their hand at the same time, because you can go banish, continue the summonings, and then make the board, and then on your standby phase you get a Omega back right here on top of your negates. So it kind of puts a lot of more pressure on the board, and it makes it a lot more viable. You just have to be careful with how you manage the resources, and specifically on how you deal with certain situations like Altergeist. But that's the profile and a brief tutorial on a combo play. If you want to see more of the combo plays, feel free to leave it in the comments section below. Tell us that you want to see more of these, and I can spend my time kind of just explaining the combos a bit better. Thanks, YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, and peace out.